Hi, Mirna Solorzano, Angel Medium here. Welcome, you've made it to video 2. And in this series we're talking about angel communication and how to hear your angels. So another way that we're going to go over today in how to hear your angels, and some of you may already be doing this, and some of you it's a new idea. So another way that my angels communicate with me, and it took me years to understand this because I was that person who wanted that physical aspect of the angels. Like in the movies, they romance all of that and they see this beautiful being, and for some people, they do see that, and that's fantastic. But that wasn't the case for me. I always was tuned in, I've always been tapped into the angels. I just didn't know it. I didn't know that I was hearing angels. I only know that as a little girl, I always had this knowing about what is right and what is wrong. I always had a knowing as to things that I should do and things that would put me in danger. And so what that was something that we now know as claircognizance. And so what being claircognizant is, it means that we receive information in through the crown of our head. This is where we just receive that fine knowledge, that divine knowledge from God, from Source, from the angels. And that's just one form of communication. So I always had a knowing. I always knew things, and I remember growing up, friends would be like, "You're a know-it-all," and I would laugh because I wasn't trying to be that person that knew it all. I would just say things that would just blurt out of my mouth, and they would look at me like, "Really? You just think you know everything?" And I would laugh, but I do. I don't know how to explain. I just know that. Don't you just know? Isn't that common sense for you? It's not that hard to figure out. And they would say, "No, I don't even know what you're talking about. You're just always coming out with these things." I'm like, okay. So after a while, I started to really realize, growing into a woman and growing into a mother, there were things that even heightened more for me. And I would know things about my children, I would know what they were up to, and I would know when they didn't want to get caught with certain things. And I would tell them, "You know that you cannot lie to me because I know, and I'm going to catch you at it." And so it was hilarious. And so very often, it took me a while, and then the angels stepped in and said, "This knowing that you have is just a form of how we impress upon you the energies of what we're trying to tell you." And so it is an aspect of wisdom that we all have, but because there's no proof in it, it is one of the most difficult things to try and prove. You can't prove it. You can't prove something that you just know until it happens. And so many times you're like, "Oh, I knew that. Why didn't I follow through with it?" Right? We sit there and we are kicking ourselves. Well, when that divine knowledge comes in whatever form, after it's happened a couple of times, you may sit there and say, I have stumbled with this enough times that now I know this, I'm going to trust it. And guess what? When you follow through with it, it works out. The way to test these things when we're not sure about making choices in our life, whatever it may be, whether it's buying a type of bread in the store or making a huge career decision, it's a simple process that I always teach my students, and it's put yourself in that situation, and how are those thoughts coming in for you? How are you processing that? Does it feel good and you already can see yourself, you know you're going to do that? Or put yourself in this situation, and all of a sudden this knowing comes in and it's like, no, this is not the course for me. This is not the route I want to take. This is not the fork in the road that I'm going to do right now. It's now time yet. You just know it. You know that you know that you know. Claircognizance. That is a form of communication with the angels. So the next time that you get that hit, don't let it pass you by. So many times we get these hits and it just kind of flies over your head. And so what I say to you is, pay attention. Just like the clairsentient muscle, the more you practice tuning in to that claircognizance, to that knowing, and the more that you practice and follow up with it, the stronger it's going to get. And once you practice all of these things, you will become a very tuned in and honed person to your life, to your body, to what resonates with you. And just because something resonates with you in your heart doesn't mean it has to with somebody else. We all have our own truth. We all have our own path. We all have our own purpose. And so the only person that you need to worry about is you. The angels always say that the way we can make the biggest difference in this world is to be the best you that you know how to be. Because that light that emanates all around you will ripple out into the universe. So do you want to be sending out great, positive, loving energy? Or do you want to be sending out this negative, fear, control energy? Probably not, right? The first one. So let me know what you thought about this. Let me know if this is something that you're already using in your life. Let me know if you're claircognizant or if it's something that you're going to work on. Let me know what you thought about this video. And again, if you like what you saw, please share it with those around you that would benefit from communicating with their angels as well. Until next time, angelic blessings and God's love unto you.